Hey, and thanks for watching. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to set up SSO using Firebase for the Tyk products. So this is going to enable you to use your users' Firebase credentials on the on the client side in order to log into the dashboard, the Tyk dashboard. And so how it works is we have the flow up in front of us. So starting at the very beginning, we have the browser. The browser is going to have a form. It's going to have accept the email and the password, and it's going to forward that request to the Tyk dashboard. In brackets, you see we have TIB because under the hood, it's Tyk Identity Broker, which is another open source tool that you can go and read about. And then that will take that request and then reverse proxy it to a Firebase proxy. So whatever format the request comes in, whether it's a post, get, whatever it is, the dashboard, the Tyk dashboard will take that request and forward it to our Firebase proxy. Then our Firebase proxy is going to forward that request to the actual Firebase auth APIs and check those credentials that were sent. And then at that point, if it's validated, it'll take that response and then return it to the Tyk dashboard. Hopefully it's a 200. We're going to look at Happy Path today. And so the dashboard is going to see that 200 and it's going to send a one-time sign-in link to the browser. The browser will use that link to SSO into the product. So you might be wondering why we need a Firebase proxy in the middle. Why can't the Tyk dashboard send a request directly to the Firebase auth APIs? Well, again, that's because the dashboard is a dummy client here. We can't do any logic. It just takes a request from the browser and then does a transparent reverse proxy to whatever upstream we define. And so we either have to get the browser to send a correctly formatted request to our auth APIs, which is going to involve enabling cores and sending the API request with data binary and all this kind of stuff. But we don't want to worry about that. We want the browser to do a simple get, and we'll take advantage of the HTTP protocol and its 301 redirects, and it simplifies things. So we're going to put a proxy in the middle, and that proxy is going to take the email and the password and then format it into the proper format that the Firebase APIs expect, and we'll forward that off. Okay. So let's see what it looks like. So let's start at the very beginning. Let's see what our browser looks like. And so here's our browser. Firebase Authentication. This is a quick start library. I'll paste a link in the description. And what it does, it takes an email and password, and once I hit sign in, it will forward that request to our Tyk dashboard. And again, I would use the credentials that I already have for my Firebase user. Now my Tyk dashboard is going to take that request. And then it's going to forward to the Firebase proxy. And how does it know where the Firebase proxy lives? Well, here underneath identity management, we're going to set up a profile, and that profile is going to tell the dashboard how to behave. So it's going to receive a request under my proxy2, that's the custom ID, and it's going to forward that request to a service running on my local laptop to port 9001. Okay, cool. And then once it forwards that proxy, forwards a request to the proxy, excuse me, the proxy is going to forward it to the auth API. And so if we take a look at the proxy, there's going to be links for all this stuff in the description. The proxy takes, it's just a web server where you give it your Google API key, and then it will make a request. First, it does validation. Do we have an email and the password in the request? And then it sends an API request to the Google Firebase APIs. And then we'll write the response from Google Auth API to the Tyk dashboard, and we'll let it know what happened over here. So it just does, just forwards along what happened. And then at this point, Tyk dashboard will decide, do I give it a one-time sign-in link or not? So putting it all together, if we go back here and we do a sign-in, well, first I'll show you that I'm not logged into the dashboard. I'm on a private browsing session. And so now if I press sign in, we see it all come together. The user logs onto the dashboard. And how you would run the proxy is if you just go to the README, there's instructions here. You just clone this repository, you build this, then you run the image. You can see you open up the port 9001, and then you give it your Google API key as an environment variable. And then we can simply make a request against it. And so You saw me do it through the browser, but if I was to do it through the command line, we can see what happens under the hood. So here, go like this. So now I'm going to make a request instead of doing it through my browser, I'll just do it through the command line so we can see what it looks like. And so now we have, this is my dashboard, and here is the auth. Here's the API listen path that the dashboard will understand. Okay, so this user is logging on using my proxy 2 identity, and then it will forward these requests to the Firebase proxy. And so if we fire off that API request, we can see that we received a 301 from our dashboard, moved permanently. In the location header, we have our one-time sign-in link. So if I copy that, and we go back to a browser here, I'll sign out. And then if I paste that link in here, it will sign us into the dashboard. Thanks for watching.